done. I'm about to tell you what I already done.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is the podcast Already Done. Podcast where me and a couple friends chop it up every week and tell you about shit that we've already done. Today I got a very special guest. He's a producer, an engineer, even an artist himself. My boy, Kyje.
What's going on, you guys?
Welcome.
I appreciate you having me, B-Gunz. I appreciate the intro.
Appreciate you hopping on the podcast,
Appreciate you
bro.
acknowledging all of the things that I do as well.
For sure.
And I appreciate you coming out to my studio out here today too. So
Thank you for the invitation.
much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. So fuck it. I'll get right into it. We met. He's a great engineer, and we came in for a studio session, and that's how we kind of met over here. So I figured have him on the podcast. You know, a bunch of creatives is the more the merrier.
Yeah. No, that was a great session too. Like I originally met Cass and Mia. But then, like, obviously your guys' collective together, like, you guys are all fucking chill-ass vibe. And I was like, okay, yeah, when you hit me about to do a podcast, I was like, fuck yeah, we can run that shit.
not?
Hell yeah, why would we not?
Yep. Hey, shout out to one of them ones. That's what we was just talking about.
Shout out one of them ones.
Yep. We had a good session over here. Actually, we did a cipher, and that should be coming shortly. So keep your eyes peeled for that shit.
That's a banger.
Yep.
It's a banger.
I agree. But so what we do here on Already Done, we just kind of get into like people's journeys and what they do. So the first question I have for you is how'd you get into making music, and what has been like some significant points in your journey?
Man, music, you know what's actually really crazy is, so with the music shit, I've always loved music, but like the making side of it was never really a thing for me. Funny story, actually, in 7th grade, I got stuck in band as an elective, and I fucking hated it, so I dropped it. And like I was like, I'm not gonna learn how to do like flute or trumpet or any of these fucking weird ass instrument. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do all that shit. And so I could always kind of like sing and rap and stuff like that, but like I didn't really do any of that like seriously. And so in high school, sophomore year, a couple of my homies, shout out my boys from like When We Arrive and all that, Marcus, all of them. Shout out you guys. That's who I actually really started doing music with, and we did like emo, screamo, kind of hardcore shit. So I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of that genre of music, but
I am.
So yeah, it was a lot of fucking like scene kid fucking hair swoops and really tight jeans and
eyeliner
shit. I mean, we didn't go that far, but there were some people who did. But yeah, I was never really that far into it. But so I started off kind of just doing music, and that I sang and played keys, and every now and then I would do some like screams, but that wasn't really for me. That was more the homies thing.
Gotcha.
But then yeah, so literally I kind of started doing that. Band shit is incredibly difficult. So I was like, you know, I love doing the music shit, but actually like doing shit with a band is so difficult. It's legitimately like dating 5 girls.
I was gonna say, anytime you go outside of just you,
dude,
it gets difficult.
It's horrible. Like, cause I gotta fucking make sure this dude's doing this dude's doing that. He's not over there doing that. Like, it's so much bullshit.
Yep.
So literally, I was like, you know, what can I do to transition to still do music, but be kind of more of a solo thing? So then I picked up Fruity Loops, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn this shit. Like, my homie got like a cracked version way back in the day, and I was like, you know what? I went to his crib. He was like, bro, I got a beat making program. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but I'm going to come over. Like, let's see. We literally cooked up like probably the shittiest beats ever known to man, but it was so much fun. And I was literally like, you know what? I fuck with this. I'm going to kind of like spin this out. And it's something I could do by myself and not have to rely on other people.
Yep.
So then, you know, even with that, even people from the band that I had, I started like recording them. Like, we would do like old stupid rap shit back in the day. I'd be like, yeah, pull up to my house. Like, I'll record you at the studio. And it was like my fucking laptop and like a shitty ass. You remember, you remember Radio Shack?
Yeah.
You're old enough for Radio Shack. Okay. Radio Shack, they used to have these computer mics, like the long computer ones. You've seen those?
Yeah.
Like the long ones, and they have the little, like, I literally recorded with one of those. Like, I threw a sock over it.
You're
so
talking about the shit that looks like you have to press the button to talk into it? That's what you're talking about?
Kinda, yeah. Like one of the long fucking, you know what a microKORG keyboard is?
Yep.
How they have that little antenna fucking mic. It was one of those.
Gotcha.
And so like literally I recorded on one of those. Horrible fucking audio.
Oh, man.
Terrible. But it was like doing that. I did that. Like I would take my computer laptop, fucking take that shit with me, and I'd be like, hey, I cooked up this beat. Horrible beat at the time too. I think I still have some of them too. They're hilarious. They're not horrible, but I mean, compared to what I'm able to do now, it's fucking light years apart.
That actually brings me to a question. Obviously, you just kind of answered it. But I was going to say, like, do you actually see when you go back at times, you're like, oh, fuck, like, that was me, bro. I made that shit. And you're like, makes you feel like it almost wasn't, though, because now you've come so far. You know what I'm saying?
The thing with that is I have that actually on, like, both sides of the spectrum. Like, sometimes I'm like, wow, I made that. And as if it's, like, super shitty. And then other times I'm like, damn, I made that? Like,
but at the time when you made it, you thought it was fire.
Oh, at the time I made it, I was like, dude, I am him.
Yep.
I am fucking Hit Boy. I am fucking Metro. I'm that guy. I'm Timbaland. I was like, Timbaland can't fuck with me. Like at the time, but then I'm listening back and I was like, okay, like you were a little too far ahead of yourself.
That's how I feel like we really can mark our progress. When we can look back on the shit that we've done and not fuck with it ourselves. You know, like, ooh, okay.
But then even then, it was like I said too, though, like there's the times where I listen back and I'm like, golly, that was horrible. But then there's the times I'm like,
damn, I was
maybe I was a little ahead of myself on this shit. I might have been a little ahead of the time on this. Like this shit is hard as fuck. Like I maybe made this in like 2010 and I was like, this shit should have came out in 2015.
There you go.
Or 2020. Like I'm like, I made this shit too quick. I was on like another wave type shit, but it was like, it wasn't appreciated at the time.
Yep.
And that's why I think I like the music. The music space is in a very weird space right now because there's so much shit out there, but then again, there's so much good shit too. Because there's so many blended genres that it's like, dude, but you gotta. I told this to somebody a couple weeks back too. I was like, you really gotta dig through a lot of shit to find the gems because there's so much good music, but there's way more just bullshit too.
It's just too easy nowadays. Anybody could be in their fucking bedroom making music. So it's like,
bro.
Okay, now you're competing with that. Back in the day, you weren't competing with shit like that.
Exactly. Like before, you would have to go to a studio or you would have to get like expensive equipment or something like that. But now it's like, yeah, a motherfucker can be like, I'm going to hop on BandLab, which is cool because it's like, but some people, like even how we said before the podcast started, it's like some people, you know, maybe this isn't for you. Like stick to your day job, maybe try another creative thing. But it's like too many people are getting comfortable. And that's the thing. Too many people are getting comfortable. You got to always be in the fucking growth mindset. Too many people are like, oh, I'm already him and that, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you got to scratch that mindset.
Terrible
like,
mindset
I'm like, even look at Drake. Like, he's not just plateaued and staying there. It's like he's
Always
leveling
improving.
up every time.
Yeah.
It's like he's literally becoming an even higher tier every time we talk about him.
And that's what you should strive to do as well. Like,
Exactly.
Anyone, just in general, you should always strive to be better. But as an artist, that's where, honestly, I feel like you could tell who's serious and who's not.
Oh,
who's putting in the work to actually be
100%.
better or who thinks that they're already the best.
People who take constructive criticism as constructive criticism and not a diss.
Exactly.
That's the big piece right there too that I notice is like when people take it as like, I'm never, to anybody I've ever worked with, I've never wanted to diss you. It's literally, I want you to get better. And like, yeah, it might not be the nicest thing that I say to you, but it's like, I care enough as an engineer. There's a lot of motherfuckers who could give a fuck about your career.
That's true.
And the thing is, it doesn't really positively affect me in any way, but I want to see any type of creative excel.
Yeah.
And so for that, I'm like, I'm always going to give you my 2 cents to make you better. I'm not just going to be there fucking dick riding and being like, hey, like,
You got it, bro.
you're doing it. Yeah, like, if you're being like, hey, what you think about this? This is hella good, huh? I'm going to be like, I think it's okay, but I think you could do this better. Like, I'm not just going to be like, yeah, you're fucking killing it, bro. It's like, no, I'm going to be real with you because that's how you grow.
Absolutely.
If you want to stay right where you're at, I'll just fucking pat you on the back and be like,
Keep
good
doing what
job,
you're
buddy.
doing.
You're doing great.
Yep.
But it's like, if you want to excel and like, you want to get to the next level of your music, whatever, this applies to everything, but it's like, you need to fucking be able to like do different shit. Because if you keep doing the same shit, you're going to keep getting the same outcome. You're going to be right where you're at. It's like, what's the fun in that?
And that's
like,
the definition of insanity right there.
Bro, exactly. I was thinking of like the exact like thing, and I was
Yep.
like, that is right though for the insanity shit.
Yep,
So
yep. And it just applies to music too, because bro, we should always be growing. We should always be improving. And unfortunately, and fortunately, we do need someone that's going to tell us, "Hey, you're not." Doing
oh
this
yeah,
the best."
as tough as it is to hear, like, you know, there's some people where I'm like, I don't want to hear what they have to say because I'm like, oh, it fucking like, it does hurt. Like nobody, especially when you're a creative, nobody wants to hear like that their shit isn't good enough or whatever. But it's like, you have to use that as fuel to get better. Like when somebody tells me that shit, I never take it personal. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, there's times where I'm like, fuck. But then again, I'm like,
Big thing though,
they wouldn't tell me that had they not cared. Like they're telling me this because they want me to get better.
Exactly.
And so
One big thing I did realize though, obviously everyone is entitled to an opinion. So like you gotta realize some people, you gotta realize who you're taking advice from. Don't take advice from everyone, because it is very opinion fact based.
Yes.
So just because they don't like it doesn't mean it's not the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
So going off that, everybody does have an opinion, but yes, you have to be so careful. Because I think too many people take opinions from people where they're not in that field.
Yes.
And it's like, that's what bothers me. Like, so I'll get some artists
You're
up in
talking to
here.
your homie who doesn't know
exactly,
shit.
who doesn't know shit about music. And it's like, bro, like, why are you going to listen to him? Like, I know music shit. I'm not saying I'm like fucking the best, but I'm like, I have a good enough ear. I have a good enough fucking head. I know how music works. I know the sonics of it and what sounds good and maybe what doesn't. Your homie over here doesn't know shit. He's probably fucking baked out of his skull or fucking gone off the fucking drink. Like,
or they have no dream, so they're like gonna coast on yours, you know?
Exactly.
So,
it's like they're just fucking riding your coattails, and I'm like, of course they're gonna fucking hype you up because you're the person who's got it the best. But it's like, if they fucking show you any type of like negativity, it's like, oh, what the fuck? But it's like, people, yeah, it boggles my mind how people will take some opinions from some people that don't matter and then disregard. And obviously opinions are subjective. Like there's no like set, like I said, my opinion. And I even tell people that too. I'm like, hey, if what I'm saying to you is like not what you want to hear, tell me to piss off, bro. Like I'll fucking back off. If you want me to just hit record and not fucking give you any fucking 2 cents, cool. I'll sit here and just press fucking record. No problem. But it's like, if you want me to give you my insight, and I feel like, and I know that I do because I've been able to work with certain artists and be able to help them in their songwriting journey, help them better like wordplay, whatever it may be. And it's like, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want.
Yep.
So I can only do so much. Like I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make him drink it.
Exactly.
Like that's exactly where
and
it's
that's why
at,
I just say be careful. Obviously someone like you know your knowledge. So I would suggest taking some input from you. Not saying that everything you say is right. Not everything anyone says is right. So like, obviously
I think my biggest thing too is I think a lot of the time I do that for people that I shouldn't. Like I give too much input when it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. And I'm like, I'm legitimately wasting my breath.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, I hate that because I don't ever want to be a part of something that's just going to be whatever. Like anything that I ever touch, regardless if we're in here for an hour or fucking 20 hours straight. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, dude, I want to put out the best product. I don't want to fucking just like, yeah, maybe I'm still getting paid, but it's like, I still want to be tied to something dope.
Exactly.
Like, even if
nobody
it's
wants to put their name on something bad.
Exactly,
you know?
bro. And it's like, even with that too, is like, some people will like want to put out the rough versions of shit too. And I'm like, I don't fuck with that. Like, especially if they're going to like shout me out. I'm like, I didn't okay this. Like, this is literally like rough mix or whatever type shit. Like, this is not polished.
You always want to put your best foot forward.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
And so I think with that too is like, I like when people take it serious as much as I do. And I'm a hard person to compete with in that aspect because I'm very much like, I'm always going to want the best. I'm going to want to take time with it. But so many people are on like a speedy agenda too. Like, oh no, like just get the best mix in like 30 minutes and then I'm going to put it out. And it's like, bro, like you're not really giving us enough time to really like feel this song. It's
Yeah.
just like I hate rushing shit. Like I'll do it, but it's like that's not how I like to work. I like to be able to like listen to it back a couple times and be like, okay, what do I really like about it? What do I really not? What can I do differently? What can I keep the same?
Yeah.
Like what kind of effects do I want to add on it? What kind of shit do I want to like keep the same?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think just the rushing of the process of it is the real killer to my enjoyment of it. Like I want to be able, and there's a couple artists that I work with that are very much on the opposite of that. They're just like, not take too long. Like I'm very much a perfectionist at heart too, and nothing will ever be perfect. You can always tweak something to make it better.
Of course.
But it's like there are some people that maybe do quote unquote take a little too long, but I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because it's like
Nothing wrong with taking your time.
Exactly. They understand like, hey, if you really want something to be good, you're going to put in the time. You're not going to rush the process. Yep. You're going to be like, hey, even if it is going to take a little more time, a little more money, whatever, as long as I can get it to a better level, then I'm going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
So,
especially being an artist, bro, like I feel like we all kind of battle with that because you come up with a song and it's a good song. Like it's a great song, but to you, now you've been sitting on it for a little while. Now to you, it's old. And now you're like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
now
that part too.
Now you don't know how you feel about it anymore. But guess what?
It's
still a great song, and it's new to everyone else.
It's new to everybody else too.
Exactly.
Like that's a big thing I think a lot of people overlook too, is like they think that they can't post old songs or fucking show, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's maybe 3 years old to you, but it's like
no one's ever heard that
nobody else has ever heard that shit. It's new to everybody else.
Yep.
Even like fucking there was some, I think it was like Young Thug, like his fucking, I forget what song it was, but it was like the song that blew him up. That song was out for 2 years before it blew up, but he was still like pushing it because it was like he knew that it was a hit, and it's like, bro, you have to be that with your shit too. Like
trust yourself sometimes.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like, yeah, as much as you're pushing it on people, it's like, bro, like you need other people. You can't just sit here and listen to this and be like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm great. Like it's like, obviously, you know, we do stuff for ourselves, but it's like if we're actually gonna make shit profitable and fucking do shows and get fans and shit like that, like you have to. It really is a balance of everything.
Yeah.
Like you have to like it, but then you also have to give out a product that people are gonna also enjoy.
Here's the way I look at a lot of shit, and it's not just music. Most of the time, even if like it's the weirdest shit, but you like it, doesn't matter what it is. There's probably somebody else out there that likes that shit or thinks it's cool. So it doesn't hurt to just put shit out and test the waters, you know?
Exactly. That's I try to tell a lot of artists that too. I'm like, hey, like. Because a lot of people will like be like, oh, what do you think? What do you think? And I'm like, bro, I'm just another opinion. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm like, do you like it? It's your song. If you like it, then it's good. Yep. And like you said, if you like it, just like you said, somebody else is going to like it as well. Yep. I might fucking, think it's dog shit. But the thing is other people, there's certain genres where I still think are dog shit. Even like I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
French Montana, I think all his music is trash.
Yep.
But I'm like, he's doing his fucking
he's
thing.
Got a market,
and then again, it's like he's doing something right because people like him.
Yep.
So I'm like, he has an audience. So it's like I don't have to like somebody for them to be successful.
Exactly.
And that's with every artist, regardless of where they're at. It's like, yeah, you could be doing some weirdo shit, but it's like you will find your audience.
Absolutely.
Like
perfect example. The other day, age gap. Not gonna lie, yo, these younger kids listen to some weird shit. My little cousin, she's like 17 now. She's showing me a song the other day. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It was by this dude called NASCAR. Sounded like noise, bro. Like his thing is to be offbeat. To my ear, someone who like does music and shit, hearing that offbeat shit, I was like, what is this? I was like, turn this off.
See,
please.
here's my thing. Like I'm older. I'm not old by any means, and I try to stay as youthful as possible.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy a lot of this experimental shit, especially like how you even said with like the offbeat type shit. Like I like Lil B. I love Lil B. Lil B is dope as fuck. Yeah. Like
shout out to Lil B.
Hey, shout out Bass God. Thank you, Bass God. But yeah, like Lil B, like he pioneered like a new style of shit. But then again, it was like, I think some people went a little too far with it. But it's like, I like experimental shit like that too. I like people like Lil B like almost like exploited the rap game. He's like, dude, you can make shit and still be
his
popular.
offbeat shit though, I fucked with. Like
Dude,
that's the kind of offbeat
his
shit I
shit
liked.
is tight, bro. I fuck with the pack too. Like, but he was obviously doing some real shit in the pack.
Yeah.
But it's like when he went solo and did like his bass guy, I was like, bro, this shit is trash, but this shit is fucking tight because it's different.
And people loved it. They
exactly,
ate that shit up.
bro. Even there's a dude. I mean, no, he was probably like popular on TikTok probably like a year or so ago. But do you know who 645 AR is?
Never
He
heard
has like the Mickey Mouse fucking. He's like.
Does he really?
He's what would it mean? Like you've probably heard it. If you're on TikTok, you know who fucking that song is.
Gotcha.
But like it's the goofiest shit, but I like it because it's like it's so different and experimental and he's comfortable and it's like he's not taking it too serious.
Yeah.
Like he's literally just having fun bullshitting. And that's what
And it
I
can
think
still sound good.
Exactly. And I think that's where the balance of the music comes in too. It's like you don't have to be so serious, but then again, like you don't want to be too much. Like you can be in the middle, or you could be a little more over here, a little more over here.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like have fun with it too. Like I love conscious, serious rap, but then I love the most ignorant, fucking stupid shit too, and everything in between.
That's why don't ever put yourself in a box, bro. You gotta think back to the reason why you started doing this shit. Like we just had the conversation before. Why did you start doing this? Because you enjoyed it. It's something you liked. Don't take that out of it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're serious and you want this to be your career, great. Have a fun fucking life. Have a good, fun career.
Yeah.
Don't fucking just be like, this is work now, blah, blah. Like, no, keep that same energy.
And,
you know?
and it is hard at times to like disassociate the two, like of like work and play. But it's like at the end of the day, even like I said when you first came in, I was like, bro, the fact that I get to make money off doing music,
dream.
Dude, it's the dream, bro.
Yep.
Like it might not be a crazy amount, but I'm like, bro, there's people who don't make a fucking nickel off doing music.
Yep.
Nah, shit. There's
But
people who
part,
pay to do music shit, and only they're deep in their pockets.
Yep. Best part about it though, I'm sure even if you didn't make music, you'd still love doing it. I make money doing it.
Oh, absolutely, bro. I would still 100%.
That's just the blessing of it. You figured it out. You figured out how can I live the dream and make money off the dream.
Man.
Boom. There you go.
Exactly. And it is tough sometimes too. And I even struggle with that a little bit sometimes too, of like if people like are asking about like charges and stuff, and I'm like, dude, yeah, like I would do this shit for free, but then again, it's like I've put so much time. I've put in my 10,000 hours.
Yep.
Like I have, and
at the end of the day, it's the music business. It's not just music.
Exactly. Like it's literally 10% music and 90% business.
100%.
Like yes, the music is still there, but it's like we have to have the business side of it too, because we all need money.
You could be the best in the world. The best. Literally, you could be the best. It doesn't matter if you don't do anything about it.
Exactly. It's like the fucking old, like if a tree falls in the forest, like did it actually happen? It's like, dude, if nobody hears your song, nobody knows about you, you could have the best song, but it's like if nobody hears it, it doesn't matter. And I believe that too, that I believe that the best song ever created will probably never be discovered.
Yep.
Because it's like people don't know how to market it and this, that, and the other. Like there's probably, to all the artists out there, like dive into marketing. Like that is the best. You could have the best music and people will never hear it if you don't learn the business side of it too.
Absolutely.
Like that you have to, it's the sad reality of it. Just like how content creation is. Like if you want to put out your music shit, you might have to do a little fucking stupid video with it
2024, that's it.
Exactly.
That's the name of the
it's
game.
like it's part of it now. Like as sad of a truth as it is,
the music
have
industry is not what it used to be. You can't just be an artist anymore. Because back in the day, if you were a great artist, sure, they might discover you, they might dump a bunch of money into you. Then great, now you're famous. Nowadays, they're not even touching you if they don't see that you can actually do it yourself.
Oh, the thing is, even basing off that too, is like you already have to pop to get like a label.
Exactly.
Therefore, you don't need the label because you already did it without them.
You figured it out.
Exactly. So it's like you don't need a label. Like obviously, if you get to a certain caliber or whatever, you might do that. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like if you can do it by yourself, and you're gonna have to anyways, because if you don't have enough buzz, They don't give a fuck.
Yep.
You're not bringing any revenue. Like, you have to get to a certain level to even be on that radar.
It's true.
And the fact that you get to that shows that you can do it by yourself. Therefore, you don't need to get into these fucking crazy scenarios where you hear about people
Giving
in
up
their
whole lives.
exactly, giving up all the percentage to their music, getting fucked in like 360 deals and all this type of shit. It's like, bro,
It's 2024, bro. We shouldn't be getting stuck in these deals. Like
exactly.
Like,
Like,
it's too easy.
come on.
They
Come
made
on,
it too
yo.
easy. If you just put in the work, eventually it will pay off. And that's with anything.
Yeah.
That's with anything.
And and it's like people think too, like, oh, like this is people get blinded by the upfront money. Like, oh, they're gonna write me $1 million check. It's like, yeah, they're loaning you $1 million.
That's exactly what it is.
You're
It's a
gonna have
loan.
to pay that shit back, and best believe everything you do is gonna be spent with that money. They're not providing extra like for the suites and shit. Like
Yup.
that's coming out of this $1 million that you're giving, bro.
Anytime you're in the studio, if you're bullshitting, you're not recording, that's all
Exactly.
coming out of your
That's coming out of your fucking pocket. And best believe they're gonna get that money back and some before you see a dime more.
And that's why it makes me laugh, though, when you see, like, these newer artists who are dope, but they come out, they do an album, and they're like, yo, what the fuck? I haven't even made any money yet. I haven't seen my first check. It's like, bro, you're not even recouped yet. Like,
Exactly.
no wonder you're not seeing a check.
Yeah, because you haven't paid them back. You thought they just floated you $1 million? Just been
No
like, nah,
way.
you're cool. Go ahead. And
Yeah.
it's like, nah, fuck. Like,
You thought
this
that
a
was for your
business.
house and your car? No.
Yeah,
bro.
no, this is for fucking, we wanted you to use this wisely, and you're out here fucking blowing it. But it's like, yeah, you gotta be consciously aware of a lot of shit too, because I mean, it's a cutthroat business. People will try to fucking slime you anytime they get the fucking chance. Like, people will fucking take advantage of you. They will step on top of you, over you, for the fucking slightest.
For $25.
Bro. Bro. Ah. Bro. Goddamn. No, but yeah, people will legitimately do that, and it's wild, bro.
And unfortunately, that's just part of the business. There's good in every business. There's bad in every business.
It is. It's a learning experience. And that's what I tell a lot of artists in it too, is like, you almost have to go through that. You have to get fucked. Like, it's part of everyone's process.
I've never heard of one like actual successful artist that
just had no fuck. Yeah, it's like, dude,
It was so easy.
Like, we've all been fucking Ice Cube, fucking no lubed. Like, every single, like, if you haven't, it's like, it's coming. So prepare.
That's the only thing that's guaranteed, bro. You will be fucked in this industry.
It's like
sure.
you, like, people will fuck you over because everybody's trying to get ahead. And it's the sad truth. Like, I've never intentionally fucked anybody over, but has there probably been some shit that I've done? Probably. Not that I'm aware of. I always try to make sure I right my wrongs and fix anything that I can. But it's like, yeah, at the end of the day,
nobody's perfect.
Exactly. And it's a business. And it's like, yeah, like sometimes too, even like I'll get people, even like how you said, people will come in the studio, not do shit for 6 hours. And then they're like, why am I going to pay you this amount of money? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, we didn't do much, but it was like the clock was running, like it was on you. But then even then, sometimes like I feel bad, like, fuck, I should have like delegated it better. But I'm like, that's on you, bro. You're 100%. A grown ass man. Like, you should be able to.
There ain't no kids coming in here.
Exactly. And if there is, it's
You're
like,
gonna guide them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, yo, to the best of my ability. But then again, is like, hey, you still need to fucking know what you're doing up in here.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people come in here not knowing. They come in very unprepared, and it's like, yo, like, that's not on me. Yeah, we didn't even finish one song over the course of 3 hours, 4 hours. But it's like, that's on you. I'm ready to go. I'm at your disposal for whatever you type of shit. But you're in here fucking rolling up, hollering at bitches on like on IG Live, doing all this other bullshit.
Not saying that you can't do that in the studio.
That's part of it. Yes, you should. But don't let that be the only thing.
Exactly.
Don't let that just the glamour of it. Like, stick to the work. Still
Roll
put in the
up
work.
after you write your verse.
Roll
Some
up
shit like
before
that.
you get to the studio. Have your weed pre-rolled. Have the bitch already fucking ready to fucking hook up with you afterwards, whatever, bro. Like, save that shit before or after. Like, you don't need to do that on, especially, when the clock's running and you're paying. It's like, it looks cooler or whatever, but it's like, essentially, you're wasting your time, your money. You're wasting my time. You're wasting whoever's in the studio.
100%.
Like, it's it's a lose-lose for everybody. Like, and because like I said, I want to be working all the time.
Absolutely.
Like, I want to be putting out the best product. And like I said, I'm still getting paid, and I'm not going to be your fucking dad because you're a grown-ass man. You should be able to know what you're doing.
Yep.
But it's like, at the end of the day, I'm still like, bro, I didn't want this to be the case. Like, I'm like, yeah, like, we didn't do much, but I'm like, there's not much I can do, bro. Like, it's like, I can only do so much. Like,
so I'm actually really glad that you brought that up, because here on this podcast, we do like to give game as well. If there's any game I can give to any artist at any stage in their career, it's take this shit serious. When you're ready to go to the studio, be prepared. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste their energy.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair to anyone at the end of the day. You know, this is a business, and we're trying to make a product out here. I understand some people don't take it as serious, but that's where you got to sit down and look at yourself and be like, okay, do I really want to do this, or is this just a hobby for me?
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's where a lot of people have it confused. They think that it's something they want to do long term, but they don't understand how much work actually needs to be put into it.
Only if we knew when we started. You know?
and it saddens me too that majority of people don't want to put in the extra work, because I know how much work and effort I'm willing to put in, as long as I see it from the artist or whatever that I'm working with. Absolutely. Too. Like I said, I'm not gonna fucking put in all this extra energy if I know that they're not gonna care about it. Yeah. Like, I'm going to, make this shit sound as best as I can, but I'm also not going to go above and beyond like I want to do if I see that you're just like, it's whatever. It's whatever. Like, we'll just do whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to be closely associated with that.
Absolutely.
Like, I'll still do the shit, whatever. We could still have session, but I'm like, I pick up on that on a lot of people too. And I want, as much as, like I said, I wish every artist was as serious as I was, but I know how much I love it, as I'm sure you probably are the same way. You're like, I know how much time I'm going to put into it. And like, that's probably even why you're with the collective, because you see how much involved and how much they love the craft of it as well. Yep. Like, and that's the thing. I think there's too many people that don't love the craft of hip hop. And I love the craft. Like, I love dissecting people's fucking their flows, their wordplay, all that type of shit. Absolutely. I love that. And I think that, like, majority of, like, rappers, they don't care about that. They're just like, how can I make a quick buck?
If you got a hot beat, that's what they think. You need a hot beat. Cool. That's cool. Yeah. Hot beat would be great.
Even with that too, is like, that's why even producers don't get enough fucking credit too. It's like, I think we can be honest. Like,
they carried it.
The beats carry like 80% of rap.
Yep.
Like, the beat is slapping. Like, you could fucking get fucking Stephen Hawkins on that bitch, and he's gonna go off.
Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
Fucking Sheck West. That was an accident. That just goes to show you that beat went so hard that he fucking fucked up, and it was still so shit. Bitch. And
I actually love that story too. That's a dope
story.
Like, the fact that, like, it literally glitched out and it just happened to work perfect.
Come back in at the perfect
time. And that's what I
time.
tell people too. I love fucking mistakes like that.
Happy accidents.
Exactly, bro. They're fucking chef's kiss,
the best,
bro.
Yep.
They're fucking amazing.
So shit, I know we've been talking about, like, a lot of the behind the scenes with it. Like,
I was gonna say, how far off did we get from your fucking?
Not too far, but
okay.
I just wanted to gear back into a little bit more of, like, your personal journey.
Okay.
So, as an artist, like, how'd you come up with your artist name, and, like, who were some of your influences? You know, like, what really got you inspired to be an artist?
Man, so I went through a lot of different kind of artists and producer names. I've gone by, like, K-Dub, like, that was, like, kind of my original one, because my last name was Walls. I have two last names. It's a weird long story.
Gotcha.
But so I went by, like, K-Dub. I've gone by, like, Nuisance. Gosh darn it, Kyle. There's probably a couple other I'm forgetting, but now I currently go by Kyje. Like, that's so I just took my middle initial, because my middle name's Justin. My first name's Kyle. Just replaced the L with the J from the start of that. Thought it sounded cool. Thought it was different.
There you go.
Looked it up. I think there's, like, a country in, like, fucking Africa or something that's called Kyje or something, or, like, a city or some shit. But I was like, other than that, I was like, haven't seen that shit anywhere.
There you go.
And I was like, I fuck with this. It sounds tight. Like, it's different. I'm gonna rock with that shit. So
I fuck with it.
that's kind of how I got the name now. And then what was the other part you said?
Just like, what were some of your influences and like what keeps
Oh
you?
yeah, influences. So, for the longest, and kind of who I've always kind of aspired like their wordplay from has always been Big Sean. Like there was something about his old fucking like Finally Famous mixtapes and shit, bro,
Yup.
that just go fucking crazy,
I love
bro.
Big Sean, bro. I do.
Shout out, actually, one of your homies from the collective, Skinny Bone. Like
Yep.
I fucking,
SB,
I was talking
big
to,
fan.
I talked to him about it too, and we were talking about some like old Big Sean, and I was like, old like bullshitting, like fuck you doing, bullshitting,
Yep.
fucking, and like Big Nut Bus, like some of his old shit, like his bars just go fucking crazy,
Yeah.
dude. Like and
You got to think about him too. Like
exactly.
you don't
And
even
I'm
realize.
like, bro, I'm like, he's like the way he's saying it is tight. His like what he's saying is sick, and just like everything, like his beat selection was super fucking dope. And so like he was definitely like a big inspiring of me for like my rap actual thing.
Uh-huh.
And then I think in terms of like maybe like the producing and engineering, like Timbaland's always been fucking, I mean, Timbaland is like, he's like the fucking MJ of fucking, like
yeah.
when you think of like GOAT producers, it's
Yeah.
like Timbaland.
Absolutely.
But then I love like a lot of these like newer cats and shit too. Like there's so many dope fucking producers
Yeah.
and stuff. But I think really like who inspired me was, yeah, like some old like Timbaland shit, like old Hit Boy shit. Like there's just so many fucking dope ass fucking, like there's so much good influences out there of
Yeah.
music.
Yep.
Like, and then I think too, I've always just loved a lot of different genres of music too. Like I grew up listening to like a lot of classic rock from my parents. So I grew up listening to like Floyd and Led Zeppelin.
Real ass music. That's real.
Yeah,
ass music.
like literally, like I fucking love Pink Floyd, like and like David Bowie, Fleetwood Mac. Like I grew up on a lot of that shit. A lot of like '90s grunge too, like Nirvana and fucking
Yup.
Smashing Pumpkins and shit like
Love
that.
Smashing Pumpkins.
So it's like I love like all different types of shit too, and I think not that kind of like molded me, but I think it kind of just gave me like different insights on like how I want to like be as an artist, and that you don't have to put yourself in a certain type of box.
Exactly.
And I think too many artists even do that now, is like where they're like, oh, like, nah, I can only make trap shit or this. And I'm like, bro, nah, if you want to make a song about a female, like,
Bro, all music
do
is expression. So like you
Exactly.
can express yourself in any way. If that's
and
the way
anyway,
you felt
if
that
you
day.
want to be a pussy boy today, like, go ahead. If you want to be like the hardest fucking guy on the street, like,
Yup.
you could do that too, bro. It's like that's the thing about music. And one thing I like to say about music too is like it can be very real, but then again it can also have a very like the cap in the rap shit, but it's like I almost view it as a form of acting as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that because like too many people are like, oh, it's not real, but it's like, dude, a dude in this fucking movie isn't real. They're acting, but it's like
Yup.
it's still entertaining.
The
Like
biggest
not
thing
all
for me-
music has to be fucking like real.
Yeah.
It can like some of it can be fun and fake. Like,
Yup.
oh yeah, fucking I did it. Like another one of my influences, old Odd Future. Very oddball out there. They were like fucking kind of the newer age like Eminem was
Yep.
when like back in the day. And so it was like Odd Future was very out there. They were very
Yeah.
odd, like to say it. And it's like I love that shit because it was like they weren't doing
They were
regular
being
shit.
weird, but it was hard as fuck.
Exactly. It was
Yeah.
like obviously I know fucking Tyler wasn't like raping bitches and fucking slitting their throats and like tying them up in the garage and shit like that. I know he wasn't doing shit like
Yeah.
that, but it was like it was entertaining. It was a good act.
Yep.
And it sounded dope.
Yeah.
And like all of OF, like at the time, shout out OF before OnlyFans. Like let's make that noted. I saw that the other day and I thought that was tight. I was like the original OF, and I'm like, I fuck with that.
Hell yeah, I fuck
I
with
fuck
that.
with that.
I fuck with that as well.
But yeah, that I think just being experimental is definitely just beneficial, and then just listening to a lot of different types of shit too, I think really can craft you in a different way in the artistry side.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
not just only listening to like a certain genre or like one type of artist. Like it's cool, but then again, it's like I don't know. I get sick of a lot of shit too. Like, I mean, I'll wear shit out, but then again, it's like I don't want to like over listen to shit.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So
just like the radio, they play shit out. You could play shit
exactly.
out.
It's like I don't like doing that. So like sometimes I'll go back and listen to like hardcore emo screamo shit, or I'll go back and like I'll put on fucking
you need that reset.
Some old fucking Led Zeppelin and shit like that too. It's like it's just I like music.
Yeah, music is great.
It's beautiful.
And it's beautiful. It's a form of expression, like we said before. My biggest thing though, being an artist, like, because obviously in hip hop it comes down to like, oh, you want to be real, I'm real, you know, I'm the realist, whatever. And
that shit is played out.
It's super played, but also it took me a minute because I try to be super authentic as well in my music.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day, like when I would look at Brendan, who I am, and B-Gunz, who my artist is, in my head, that's the same person. But in reality, B-Gunz is a character. You know what I'm saying?
He's an actor.
Play the part.
Exactly. And it's like, that's how even I feel too. Like, yeah, some of my shit that I do is going to be more of like Kyle, but then there's other shit that's going to be Kyje. And then there's even shit that I pull back from like my old guy. Like, oh, this time I'm Nuisance.
Yep.
This time I'm fucking, gosh darn it, Kyle. This time I'm K-Dub.
Yep.
It's like you can be all of these things. Like you don't have to be just one thing. Like you can have these alter egos like fucking Eminem, fucking Marshall Mathers, fucking,
like fucking Mac Miller.
Exactly. It's like, dude, you can Camrellum. Yeah, shout out fucking Camrellum. Shit. R.I.P. Mac, dude.
Bro.
R.I.P. Mac.
No bullshit. Like obviously a lot of artists have passed, but his passing really hit me like hard because like, for one, it was so unexpected, and for two, he's just one of my favorite artists, and I guess I could just relate to him so much being a white rapper and on the come up and shit. Like I guess I just related to him a lot. When he actually did pass and I got that news, I felt like my boy died. I was like, holy shit, like my friend just passed away, bro. Like
that one, because like I said, I don't think anybody will ever top M, but Mac was definitely number 2 in terms of like the wire. And it was like when I think it was very like, whoa. Like, I mean, I got fucking goosebumps right now. Like it's crazy. Like it was like, whoa, like we literally lost like one of the greats, and he was like such a wholesome dude too. Like you could just tell.
That's
like,
what I think it was too. I love to hear the stories about like shit that you would never know. You know? Like, yo, Mac Miller did this for me because like he just wanted to see me elevate, and I was nobody.
Yeah.
You know, he was already on, and I was nobody.
Yeah.
And he just did it because he saw potential in me, and he fucked with me, and that's the only reason he did it. He didn't do it because there was a motive. I'm gonna make money off you. Nah, bro. I just want to see, like you said, I just want to see you elevate and do better.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy
he was closely associated with like Earl Sweatshirt into it too, huh?
He fucking was a huge influence on Earl Sweatshirt. Yeah. So that kind of shit, especially hearing like him talk about it, like that's the kind of person I want to be. I want to be that person.
Bro, I aspire to be somebody like how Mac was.
Exactly.
Like obviously not all regards, but in like the influencing of music aspect. Yep. He fucking dude.
The way people are gonna look back
dude.
And just be like, yo, he was real. He helped me. He was the only person that looked me in the face and said, yo, maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe you should do that. And nobody else was telling me that shit, you know? That's the kind of shit that I really fuck with. And I think like that makes people real, you know?
100%.
And shit, getting into that, I think this would be a good segue. As an artist, producer, engineer, what have been some of like the biggest hurdles you've had to overcome in terms of just keep on keeping on? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's like the biggest thing is honestly just every artist is so different to where it's like some things work and like because I know it works for me, but then it's like sometimes it doesn't work for them. And it's like even like with doing like sharing verses or whatever, it's like maybe like what they're doing doesn't match what I'm doing. And then just even with like the engineering, it's like, okay, I'm very malleable in that sense. Like I've been very good about kind of going off what they want to do and then implementing that into myself. Like, cause some people want to punch in fucking every bar, and then other people are just like, nah, I just want to do a one take. So it's like I can do all of those things, but I think the biggest hurdle is really just like just how every artist is so different, and there's just so many artists that do so much different shit. Yeah. And that sometimes like I think, oh, they're gonna love this, and maybe sometimes I read into it wrong. And then it's weird because I'll even sometimes like I'll show beats to people and I'm like, oh, I think they'll heavily fuck with this one. And I show them that and they're kind of like, yeah, that one's dope. And then I'll show him some random shit. Like, I'll play some shit maybe on accident. Then I'm like, oh, I didn't even mean to open that one. But they're like, wait, let me hear that one. Like, that one was tight. And then I'm like, I think it's just kind of the unpredictability that I never really know. Yeah. It's like, I think like, oh, like I can hear their music and be like, oh, like I think they would like this type of style. And then I'll show them some shit that I never would in 100 years would have thought they would like. And then they're like married to that shit. Yeah. Like I've had that even, shout out my boy Sonny. Shout out Jaden, to Sonny, whatever your fucking name is going to be now. But like literally with him, like I showed him some stuff and I was like, oh, he's not going to fuck with this. And then I show him and he's like, bro, this shit is tight. And I'm like, bro, what? Like the style that I've heard you on, I'm like, I didn't even think to play some shit like this. But you're fucking over here like, nah, like I fuck with this. Like this is tight. Like, and I think even going off that too, like me personally, and I know him too, I love a challenge. I love a challenge when it comes to like songs and shit. Like I love it. Like hopping on some shit like, oh, this is some weird shit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna slide on this bitch then. You say it's weird, I'm gonna slide on this bitch. I'm gonna write some shit that's fucking saucy. Like, even if it's not in my wheelhouse. Like, I love the, I just love the challenge of stuff and trying to match somebody's idea of their song. Like, they're like, okay, you have an 8 right here. This is what the song's about. Yep. I love that shit.
Bro, I feel like as an artist as well, that's a huge thing, like, to really be able to do. Is to just be able to work on the fly, like be versatile, be able to fuck with any beat. Just because, I'll give you a perfect example. I worked with a producer back in the day. Like, this is when I was first getting into music. And the reason he fucked with me so much was because if I fucked with the beat or not, I still tried to write to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he liked. He's like, I like the fact that, okay, you just heard the beat. It's not your favorite, but you're going to try to come up with the best possible shit that you think you can for this beat.
Exactly.
So that also took me a while, too, because obviously people don't want to be rapping on shit that they don't think is dope.
Oh yeah.
But our perspectives of dope are different. So maybe that producer thought that was his dopest track ever, and you hear it, you're like, don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Still write to that shit because you never know what can happen.
Exactly.
So just be versatile.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, there's definitely plenty of stuff that like people like send me and they're like, oh, like, would you want to hop on this? And I'm like, no, not really, but it's like, if we're in here or whatever, I'm like, fuck yeah, like, I'll write to some shit, like, even if it's not my favorite, because I do like the challenge of it too, but then it's like, just because I don't like it, they might love my verse, and they might put it on there and be like, yo, and then there was even that thing too of, who was it? Fucking Metro and fucking, who's from the Migos? What's his name?
Offset?
Yeah, the Offset shit. You heard about the fucking... I forget what song it was, but it was like one, he hated the fucking verse. Like, he's like, don't put that shit on the album. Don't put that shit on the album. He's like, I think that shit's trash. And like Metro put it on the album anyways. And that was like the biggest fucking song on the album. And he's like, yeah, I was pissed off at him. But then again, I'm like, I didn't know. And I was like, and that's the thing too, is like, I'm sure Offset has good taste, but it's like, sometimes you're wrong, bro. Yeah. And sometimes you might not know what's the fucking best fucking suit for you,
bro. You
know
what? I feel like that might be the hardest bullet to swallow in this industry. Just noting that sometimes your shit is not the best one.
Bro.
Just because, like,
I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with that shit sometimes because I don't ever think I'm the best, but sometimes I'm like...
It sucks, but for music, I just feel like you have to go off what's better for the music.
Yeah.
You know? You can't really internalize that shit too much and be like, oh, nah, it's me. We got... Fuck that shit, bro. Whatever is best for the music. Yeah. That's the best foot you should put forward.
And I get it. Sometimes we're in our own head, too, to where we might not see that clear, but it is like that. But then we might be like, oh, no, like, I could have done this or that. And it's like, no, I don't really like that. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, it could still be great. Yeah. Like, you might be overthinking it. And I think, I mean, we as creatives, we all overthinking shit, too. We overanalyze and make it more than we need it to be. But, yeah, dude, it's wild.
Yeah, it's definitely a ride. Now, here's a question that I like to ask almost every podcast.
Uh-huh.
At the point you're at now, what would be some of the best advice you can give younger you who's just getting into music?
Ooh. I guess just don't stop. Like, really, like, and I tell myself that, and even now too, almost from like a future point of me, it's just like, you've come so far already. Like, just keep going. Like, it's gonna be ugly. There's gonna be a lot of failure, but thug it out.
There you go.
Like, thug it out, dude, because it's like, if you love it enough, you'll make it happen, bro.
Absolutely.
And like, that's what I constantly tell myself. I still have the days where I'm like, fuck, do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to like, but I'm like, yes. Because like we talked about earlier, I would do this shit for free.
Exactly.
But it's like the fact that I get to, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to ever stop doing this because this is legit like my passion now. Like, I love music. Like, I mean, it's literally like my whole life. Like, people know me as like, okay, like Kyle, like he does the studio shit. Like, he's a rapper. He does this, that, the other. Like, obviously people know me for different things, but like everybody who kind of knows me knows that I'm associated to music.
Absolutely.
And so
I love music for that.
Exactly.
I met so many people just from doing music that
Man.
I'm like, yo, it's a blessing.
Yo.
It really is a blessing.
For real, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, I've met so many people that I wouldn't have met had I not done music shit. Like, even with like the open mic shit, like I reach out to so many people and I'm like, dude, I would have never met you had it been to this. Like, and I've met some of my closest friends through like other people too. And I'm like, bro, if I didn't fucking like do this shit, not saying I would be maybe dead or whatever, but it's like, would I probably be in a totally different life? I might be in a totally better life. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm like, all I know is I love where I'm at with this shit, and I love the crazy, fucking wild journey of it all.
Well, I'm glad you actually brought that up because I did want to talk about that. He actually does run an open mic as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk to you about, like, obviously you care about helping other artists as well. How did you get into that whole thing of just say, oh, I want to have an event and I want to have artists come and show off their talent? What got you into that?
So, I mean, that kind of just happened super fucking randomly, bro. Like,
Okay.
I sometimes will do like Uber and shit on the side. And so I literally picked up this dude, Robert, shout out Robert, who works at Wrigley. I picked him up and we got to talking about like how I do music and shit. He's like, yeah, we've been trying to have like open mics and shit there, but we haven't had like a reliable host. And I was like, I mean, I don't really do that type of shit, but I know some like artists and like I definitely could run like a very basic fucking board, like, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And so literally like I ended up talking to him more about it. And then I started talking to the owner of the coffee shop. And then we kind of just went from there. And I was like, yo, like, I'm going to just invite as many people as I know. I'm going to like post flyers on it. I'm going to like reach out to like everybody I know on like Instagram and shit. And I was like, I'm going to just try to make this like a super dope event for people to come and just showcase their talent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what better way to do that, especially if you're like a new artist, is to start with an open mic. You don't want to just be thrown on a big stage and fucking like in front of a bunch of people. It's like
you said, we need our 10,000
learning.
hours. Yeah.
Exactly. And like that's part of the like the 10,000 hours is like going out there and essentially fucking failing a little bit. Like it's like, and a lot of people get discouraged when they do like the open mic shit. And I'm like, this is exactly what this shit is for.
Yes.
It's for you to learn what to do different, what to do better, how you can have better stage presence, or how you can like make sure you don't get stage fright. It's like, this is the place to do it, especially because we have a very supportive crowd.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody's there like supporting each other.
We're on the same boat.
Exactly. It's like we're all like artists that are like struggling to a degree, and obviously some of us are further along than others, but it's like
that all goes back to the time you put in too.
But it's like at the end of the day, we're all still human and we're all still creatives, and to be a creative is a very vulnerable thing. And so it's like you want to be, especially when you're starting out, you don't ever want to be around people who are going to bash you, because it's like you'll get very discouraged. That's a big thing too. You have to have very thick skin to be in the music space. You gotta have the thickest, bro. Like you have to have insane, like it's crazy. But it's like with the open mic shit is like, it really is just a platform for people to be able to come out, showcase their talent, networking. Like that's the biggest thing I love about it, is the networking, is like people doing songs together because of that, people getting into business ventures together. Like there's all types of shit that can happen from these like meetups, and I love that shit. Like I don't like. I charge an overhead on that, but bro, I literally go in my pocket for those events.
It's next. To
I don't
nothing,
make.
though.
I don't make
Yeah.
shit off those.
When I saw it was $5, I'm like, who's not paying $5?
Exactly,
Come
and
on.
I'm like, bro, like even with that, but I'm like, we give away like raffles and
That-
shit. Like,
bro, I will say when I did go to the event, I thought that was super dope.
yeah,
Because that brings value, you know? Like,
Exactly.
I didn't even know you guys gave out sessions, but then I'm here, I'm like, yo, that's fucking dope.
exactly. I was
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm gonna give out a 4-hour session. I'm like, bro, I'm not even making that amount to cover off this event, but I'm like, I want to do this because I want to work, and obviously not every fucking one that I get is gonna end up being like a dope session, and
Yeah.
obviously the value of shit definitely plays into it too. And I've even had that a lot of the time. People are like, oh, because it's a free session, I assume like it's not going to be legit because it's free. But then like people like would have the session and they're like, I'm not going to lie, bro. Like this was like a legit, like almost paid session.
was
And I was
here
like,
for a free
and I
session,
was
bro.
like, bro. And I was like, of course I'm not. Well, you think I'm just going to half-ass it? And they're like, yeah, I did because it's free. And I'm like, regardless of if it's free, like it's my fucking name on it. I'm not gonna half-ass some shit, even if it is free. Like I'm still gonna give you my all, whether it's paid or not.
I respect that.
And so it's like that's how I've always been too. And it's like, but even with just shit in general, I'm kind of going off on a tangent with this.
You're good.
But it's like the value of stuff plays into it. And I think even with like the studio shit, for the longest time, I charged too low, bro, and I was getting in people who weren't as serious. And obviously I still get some people that maybe aren't as serious,
Yeah.
but it's like you have to know your own personal value too. Like that's such a huge fucking thing with artists.
Yep.
And like just any type of creative is like too many people don't know their actual value. And it's like we don't maybe want to like come off as like, oh, like I got to charge in this, that, and the other. But it's like, bro, like, yes, you should, because you have a service or a skill that somebody else wants.
Yep.
If they want it enough, they will fucking invest in it.
Exactly.
And it's like they will respect you too. Like the best people I've ever worked with have literally never given me like any type of shit. It's always the like, no offense to people, but it's always like the brokest people that always have the most shit to fucking say and the most critiquing. But I get it because they're balling on a budget. But it's like people who understand like the craft of it too are the more like respectable people, and they're like they understand that it's like I'm a human at the end of the day too, like, and I'm trying to go through and do certain types of shit, like I have my own life going on.
Yep.
And they're understanding of the process. They're like, hey, I get where you're coming from, you're giving me the best that you can, and I accept that, and we're gonna fucking make it work like that. Where some people are just like, nah, like what the fuck, like I need you to do this, bro. I'm not going to give you extra money for this. And it's like, bro, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, for one, it's 99% of the time it's on them. I'm like, yo, I'm doing my job. You're the one lacking.
Yep.
But all that being said, going back to the open mic shit, I just love giving a space for creatives to be creative.
Absolutely.
Like that's,
And I'm sure people appreciate that, bro, because we all need a place to go and practice. We all need a place to go
Absolutely.
and meet people. So people do appreciate it. And a lot of people don't realize how much work that shit is, bro. That shit's not easy, bro. It's on top of everything else you're doing.
like
you know?
I said, bro, I don't make any off of it, and then on top of it, like how much time I put into it. Sometimes I'm literally like, why am I putting so much time into it? Why am I reaching out to so many people when like one of these 150 people are actually going to come?
God bless. If you never did it, I would have never met you. So
No,
Thank
yeah,
you for doing
100%. Dude, I like, I don't mean to toot my own horn, bro, but like I literally network like a motherfucker.
it's good.
Like I will say that I do need to do more like in-person networking. I need to go out to other events and do more networking that way. But like on Instagram, bro, like I fucking message. So I message
Before I met
people
you,
until
you hit me
literally
up.
the limit is fucking hit.
Yep. Yep.
Like I reach out to people and I'm like, majority of the time people don't read it, but I'm like, I'm going to do it because in the event, like even with this,
yeah.
now we're here. And it's like, had I not sent that message to you, or whether like you came through like fucking your collective and
Yep.
shit, it's like, dude, had I not done that,
This
I would have not been doing this podcast right
Absolutely.
now. Like
That's
everything
fact.
really does like, and even like we said earlier, like music brings people together.
It sure does.
Like if there's anything I love to like say with music too is like, even if you don't speak the same language as somebody, like music is a universal language.
100%.
Like the feeling of it. You don't even need lyrics to it.
That's why the funny thing is too, it's like if you see in other countries or even here, when a song that is not in English goes viral, or our shit from here is going viral overseas, it's because that shit doesn't matter what you're saying. It's about the vibe,
feeling,
and
dude.
it's about how it makes people feel.
Yeah.
They'll be screaming your song lyric for lyric. They don't even know what that shit means.
Yeah, they don't even know what
bro.
the fuck it says.
Yeah.
Speaking of other language shit, bro, I have no idea what they were saying, but I've had a couple Brazilian rappers come in here and spit in Portuguese. Bro.
I love that genre, bro. I love
it. Bro. I was a little high when we had the session too, but bro, like different language, they catch different pockets,
yes,
bro.
They do.
He could have been saying the fucking goofiest shit. He could have been saying like goo goo gaga baby shit.
Yep.
But I was like, the fact that I have no idea what he's saying, this shit sounds fucking tight, bro.
Yep.
Like it was insane because I was like, dude, he's literally catching pockets I've never heard because like our words don't sound like that.
Yep.
And it was mind-boggling, bro. It's crazy.
There's that one song that I love. It came out. You know, it starts like the girl's like, I don't speak Portuguese. I speak English. And then it goes, da, 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 boom. It goes right into the beat.
I have no fucking clue what that is.
I'll show it to you. Holy shit, bro. Like, it just, like, it's crazy. You know, just their beats and shit, too. The noises they use, like, the patterns they use is just different. And for some reason, that shit is so catchy to my ear. Like, I'll listen to Brazilian music all day just because I love the bounce of it. You know? Like, this shit is hard. But, shit, man. We've been going here for about an hour now. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to get off your chest? I'm sure we'll have another podcast because this just flowed well.
I know, bro. I love this, bro. This was amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this shit literally... I mean, it was even like when you first came in here, it was just like we were just talking, vibing, and that's how I feel like podcasts should be too. Like I love this shit. Like this is probably like I want to say this is my second one I've done too. Like kind of ever, and I love this shit, bro. I would love to do this shit again. Like, and yeah, we could do it with more people too. Like if fucking I'm down for all of that, dude.
Absolutely,
exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, honestly, too, like, I mean, even outside of the fucking interview shit, bro, if you want to, like, film some shit here, if you ever want, like, if you got some artists in Long Beach, fucking hit me, bro. We could definitely fucking dial in over here again, too. I appreciate that, for sure. I feel like this was dope. And I love, bro, you got the setup, like, it's a vibe, bro.
Like we said before, though, and this is just to everyone, if you're going to do shit, you might as well do it the right way.
Bro.
So it just makes your life easier, and it makes things enjoyable.
Be open to learning how to do it the right way because people will take you more serious.
Absolutely.
100%.
I agree.
But going off to the question you asked, I think for me is just even like the comment I said for my younger self to everybody out there is just like, doing music is a very scary, vulnerable thing. Just don't, if you love it, keep doing it. Don't give a fuck about what anybody says. And at the end of the day, nobody really cares anyways. Like, you're not really affecting them in any ways. Like,
it's true.
And if you have haters, that means you're doing something right.
It's true.
Like, if you don't have any haters, you're probably not doing anything right. Like you're not to that level. It's like you really need like people to like doubt you or hate you because it's like that's when you know you're making progress. So it's like use that shit as fuel forward. Like don't let that shit fucking burn you alive. Literally put that shit in the gas tank and fucking push that bitch to the floor.
Hell yeah.
Like
I like that. I like that advice.
Yeah, man.
But shit, man. Looks like unfortunately this podcast is already done. But
damn, already?
Shit, it's already done. Where can people find you though?
You guys can find me on IG at Blue Wave Kyje. That's BLUEWAV, like the audio file, not like the shit in the ocean. KYJE, Blue Wave Kyje. Then you can also follow my studio page, Blue Wave Studio. Same spelling for the wave, BLUEWAV, no E. Studio. And yeah, if you guys are ever in the area, you guys can come to my studio out here. We're in San Pedro. I live locally in Long Beach. And then if you're ever looking to perform or anything, come out to an open mic. We would love to have you. We would love to support you on your journey. So
great. Well, it was a pleasure to have you today, and I'm sure we will have you back. But thanks for coming on the pod.
I appreciate this, man. I appreciate it. We are already done.
See you soon.
Yes, sir.